Hey everyone, it's time for me to make another activewear collection, and if you're curious on how I plan to go about constructing a highly supportive sports bra, plus making a running dress for my upcoming half marathon, and well, a lot more, well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start off talking about my running dress. This is the second time I'm doing a half marathon. The last time I made my own running dress, unfortunately, that one disappeared due to a plastic bag switcheroo, which meant that it ended up in the garbage. So I don't have that dress, but I will definitely make lemonade out of those lemons and make this an opportunity to create a new and more elaborate running dress than my previous one. So what I have here is the fabric that I'm planning to use for the running dress. And now I would love to get your advice, because I'm actually considering two quite different styles of running dresses. And the first one that I am considering is very classic, a bit vintage, and I don't feel a need that all my activewear has to look like super futuristic, which is perhaps the current trend. Instead, I really like the classic styles and I like to adapt that to my activewear. So this one is obviously quite simple in its way. It has a nice color. I plan to use, I think, mesh for the raglan sleeves and part of the side panels, and obviously the fabrics I'm considering are these two and probably a third fabric as well. So what do you think? Do you like this one, or do you prefer this design, which is way more modern and inspired by the tennis dresses that Stella McCartney does for Adidas? And this one obviously is way more constructed, and it has a lot more mesh panels and a lot more seam lines, so it definitely means more work for me compared to the first one, because I really like using mesh as a way to transport moisture, so I'm very fond of adding a lot of that into my activewear. And if you're curious, I've done a pretty extensive blog post on how to attach mesh inserts to activewear. I have a lot of different suggestions and methods, so check out that link. Of course, it will be in the description section. Now, I really want to know, which style do you prefer? Do you prefer the traditional, slightly vintage looking one, or do you prefer the more modern futuristic one? Please tell me in the comment section which one you prefer, and I will definitely take this into account, because I am totally not sure which one to decide at the moment. I thought I was going to the vintage one, and then I started looking all the modern. I thought, wow, this is a cool seam line. So I'm definitely on the fence, so I'd love to get your input on which one you prefer me making. And if you're wondering, what do you wear underneath a running dress? Well, the answer, at least for me, is to wear a pair of shorts made of the same fabric as the dress. I did that last time. I did a pair of red shorts for the last running dress I did, and I will do the same now using the same fabric. And for the shorts I did the last time, I actually did both side pockets and a zipper pocket in the back. And if you're curious on how that is done, I've explained it in my book, Sewing Activewear, where I tell you how to do a zip pocket the professional way, how they do it in the fashion industry. It's really simple, and it creates a really nice, non-bulky zip pocket. So you really need to check that out. It's a great method that is usually not described in home sewing patterns. So I'm really happy to pass that method along, because it's so great. And now let's talk about the holy grail of making your own highly supportive sports bra. Now, I've done several sports bra in the past using lining out of power net, which I highly recommend. That really creates a support, but now I definitely want to take my sports bra making to a new level, and finding a supportive sports bra for a smaller chested woman like me is actually quite difficult, because they kind of assume that if you don't have like a C cup or up, you don't really need any support. Well, that's not true. So a small chested lady often need a good amount of support as well. So that's why I'm really interested in trying to make this happen. And I'm very inspired by the brand Shock Absorber, who does really great high quality sports bra, and I've used many of those myself. And what I like about those is on the inside they are very well constructed and very well built up, you know, using a lot of seaming and stay tapes, basically building up like a supportive casing around the bust. So my plan is to mimic some of those techniques, and I will use the advice of Beverly Johnson, which is contributed to my book Sewing Activewear, where she talks about the secrets of how to make a highly supported sports bra. And one of the things that she says is that fabric is key. You can't really expect to make a highly supportive sports bra just using your regular spandex fabric. You need to have much more stability, and one of those ways obviously using power net, which I've done in the past, And now I will also try Beverly's fabric Duoplex, which is a very supportive, firm lining fabric that she recommends to use for sports bra in particular. So, and luckily that particular fabric is actually sold by a Swedish vendor. I will link down below, and of course you can buy it internationally as well from Beverly Johnson's shop, and I'm sure you can find it in other places as well. But I'm lucky that I can actually order from a Swedish vendor and not having to end up paying a lot of shipping and custom fees and taxes and all that stuff. So this is how I plan to construct a sports bra. For the outer layer I will use a sports bra pattern from the German pattern vendor Kibadu. Let me see if I spell that right. Kibadu. And they actually have a couple of patterns that are for activewear. Really cool designs, very modern, and I love how the sports bra that they're offering looks like. But obviously this is not a supportive sports bra, it's just a nice looking shell. So for the outer one I will use that with my own designed remains of the spoonflower fabric that I bought last year. And if you follow me along for a while, you know that I designed a couple of my own prints and ordered them for spoonflower, and I've been super happy with the quality. So it will definitely be an experiment, and I plan to do a kind of a sports bra sew along in my Facebook group Sewing Activewear, and that will probably happen in May. So if you're curious on following along and perhaps want to make your own sports bra in the company of others, definitely check out my Facebook group Sewing Activewear and stay tuned for that sports bra sew along. Hopefully will come along in May. And next up I'm making a pair of copper leggings, because you can't really have too many leggings, right? And again I'm using a scrap from another project. I made a pair of leggings for my daughter Stella last year, and I've done a video about that process as well. Link of course to that video will be in the description section. And this gorgeous fabric is the only one I have left from that project. So I will use the scrap that I have from this fabric to make a pair of Capri leggings, because that is all the fabric I have. And I will do a little bit of a different fun detail around the hem. The hem will actually be curved, and on the side there will be side ties, which is again something I described in my book Sewing Active if you're curious on how these are made. And don't you love the print of this one? It's so gorgeous. I'm crazy about this print. I usually don't like to do a lot of bright colors. I'm definitely more like a muted palette, but when I see something this distinct, I'm definitely leaving away my boring coloring palette and definitely go all the way when it comes to bright colors when they look this good. And my last project in my mini collection is making a tee using this wickerway fabric. It's a merle fabric, which is a gorgeous, has a wonderful drape, and it almost feels like it could be made of a man-made fabric, but alas it's not, it's polyester. So it's a wonderful fabric to wear close to the body, and it lends itself really well to drape style, because that's what I'm doing. So I'm actually doing from the front a simple tee, it doesn't look anything special, but in the back there's a lot more going on. So in the back I will use overlapping pieces over the shoulder, and then have a lot of skin showing, or basically will be a sports bra. And then underneath I will use a drape technique that I've also done for several tank tops I've done in the past. I will actually mix that technique from my sort of trademark tank pattern and add that to the t-shirt instead. And obviously it would be nice to have a sports bra with a matching fabric, because obviously I need something that will sort of, and obviously this will leave some opening for the sports bra, so ideally that sports bra will be matching, but I might just use the other sports bra that I'm planning to make this supportive, so it will be a bit of a contrast. Who knows what I will do? Perhaps I will just do a simple sports bra using more of the same fabric, I don't know. But I'm really excited to try this out, because obviously it's really trendy right now to have these open back workout tops. So I want to make my own little twist on that and use this fabric. So I'm really excited about that as well. So these are the 4 pieces that I plan to make for my mini active collection. Now if you have any questions about the project, suggestions, please tell me in the comment section, and of course which dress you think I should make. And if you want to learn more about activewear and see a lot of techniques I plan to use for this project, you can check out my book, Sewing Activewear, if you haven't already. It's called Sewing Activewear, How to Make Professional Looking Athletic Wear, and it's available on Amazon as a physical book and as an ebook as well. Of course, link to that book will be in the description section as well if you're curious to know more about it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe for weekly sewing videos, and stitch safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!